You ever feel like you're just stuck? Like there's this giant mountain standing between you and the life you actually want to live? You try to climb it, but somehow you keep ending up right back where you started. Well, today we're going to dig into a really powerful idea that says that mountain, that huge obstacle, it might actually be you. So let's get right into it. We're pulling these ideas from an amazing book by Brianna Wiest called The Mountain Is You, and we're going to spend some time with its main idea. This metaphor that says we are often the creators of the very mountains we struggle to climb. I mean, it's such a simple phrase, right? But it's also huge. The whole point of the book is that nothing is holding you back more than you are holding yourself back. That gap between who you are and who you want to be, it's not the world's fault. It's coming from an internal struggle. Okay, so what is this mountain, really? It's not just, a bad week or a single mistake. The book talks about it as something way deeper, an invisible, chronic barrier that kind of shapes our whole lives, often without us even realizing it. So let's break that down. According to Wiest, you have to figure out if your problem is circumstantial or chronic. See, when a problem is circumstantial, we're just dealing with life. It happens. But when a problem keeps showing up over and over again, that's when we're actually facing ourselves. That's the mountain. It's an internal barrier we've built up over years. And this mountain can look like a lot of different things. For some people, it's really specific, like an addiction or a pattern of choosing the wrong partner. For others, it's more of a feeling, just this general sense of unhappiness that you can't quite shake. As you look at this list, does anything here feel familiar? Okay, this is where it gets really, really interesting. We all use that phrase, self-sabotage, but this book makes a pretty bold claim that we've been looking at it completely wrong. It isn't a sign that you're weak or that you hate yourself. Nope, it's something else entirely. This right here, this is the absolute core idea of the book, and honestly, it's a total game changer. Just let that sink in. The things we do that we call self-sabotage, they aren't meant to destroy us. They are actually your brain's misguided attempt to protect you. Your subconscious is trying to keep you safe from something it thinks is a threat, even if that threat is success, love, or a big scary change. So you see the shift? It's huge. Instead of beating yourself up for being lazy or weak, the book says, get curious. It reframes these behaviors not as character flaws, but as clues. They are actually intelligent, even if they're totally outdated, strategies that your mind developed a long time ago to meet some deeper, unmet need. So, if it's not self-hatred, what in the world is going on? What are these unmet needs that make us procrastinate on our dreams or stay in jobs we hate? Well, the book points to a few key culprits that are usually hiding just below the surface. At a basic level, our brains are just wired for what's familiar and comfortable. So we might actually resist success just because it feels new and scary. Or maybe deep down, we have this old belief that you have to suffer to be worthy. So we sabotage anything that comes too easily. And then there's this thing called the upper limit problem. It's the idea that we all have a sort of internal thermostat for happiness. If things get too good, we subconsciously do something to bring the temperature back down to a more familiar level. Wild, right? And this is where we get super practical. Once you start seeing your behaviors as messages instead of mistakes, you can become a detective. You can start to decode what they're really trying to tell you. Because they aren't random. They're just your brain's clumsy attempt to deal with those hidden fears we just talked about. So take perfectionism. It's usually not about having high standards. It's a shield to protect yourself from the vulnerability of putting something out there and maybe failing. Or chronic busyness. It's not a badge of honor. It's often the perfect distraction from the thing that's really bothering you. Each of these behaviors is a clue, and figuring out the hidden message is the first step to finding a healthier way to meet that underlying need. All right, now for the final and maybe the most powerful piece of this whole puzzle. The book argues that the very emotions that trigger us the most, our anger, our jealousy, our regret, they aren't weaknesses we need to get rid of. What if they're actually a roadmap, a guide pointing you exactly where you need to go to find freedom? We spend so much of our lives trying to avoid feeling bad, but what if we just leaned in and listened for a second? The book says that when we just shut a feeling down, it gets stuck. But when we learn to interpret its message, it becomes this incredibly powerful guide for change. Let's look at anger. We're taught that it's this destructive, bad thing, but what if it's really just pure energy for change? Anger is a signal that a boundary has been crossed or something isn't right. It's not meant to be lashed out with. It's a massive dose of motivation to change what needs changing in your own life. And what about jealousy? Oh man, we think it's so petty, But really, it's a compass. If you look at who or what makes you jealous, you're not seeing an enemy. You're seeing a mirror of what you deeply, truly want for yourself, but aren't letting yourself go after yet. It's literally a signpost pointing towards your own ambition. Even regret can be an incredible force for good. It's not there to make you feel ashamed about the past. No, it's an urgent, clear message about what is absolutely essential for you to build in your future. It's showing you what truly matters so you can make it a priority right now, today. And that really brings it all home. The journey was never about conquering some big external obstacle. The mountain was never actually outside of you. The real work and the real victory is in understanding your own inner world, your needs, your fears, and your deepest desires. So I want to leave you with this question. Instead of asking, how do I get rid of this mountain? Maybe a better question is, what is my mountain trying to teach me? What hidden needs, what outdated beliefs, and what incredible desires is it trying to show you? Because right there, that's where the real journey begins.